So renewable energy, I absolutely love this stuff. I'm a bit of an energy geek, and I find that renewables are just fascinating technology. It's hard to keep up with it. It's changing so quickly. My wife and I, she's sitting right here, we're in Palm Springs in May. We'd never been there before. We went down for a 4-day long weekend. And so it was Jocelyn's birthday. So the weekend was all about her. Clearly money was absolutely no object. So of course I took her for a tour of the wind farm facility. You know, sometimes Jocelyn feels so lucky she has to pinch herself to make sure it's all real. But we did go on a tour of the wind farm facility, and this is great stuff. There's 4,000 wind turbines, by the way, in Palm Desert. It's really something to see. So I show this graph here because on March the 19th, 2017, between 2 and 3 in the morning, 22% of Alberta's electrical demand was fed by renewables, mostly by windmills, of course. And so that's pretty impressive. 22% of Alberta's electrical demand was met from renewable energy. So fast forward 7 hours, okay? So now it's 9 to 10 in the morning. We're all turning on our computers and making coffee and using more energy. At 9 to 10 in the morning, 3% of our energy was from renewables because the wind died down. So renewables are great. It's a great add-on, but we can't use renewables on their own because you need a base load. You need a reliable base load. Even in Palm Desert, when my wife and I were there on her very memorable tour of the wind farm, there's 4,000 windmills there. They generate 700 megawatts if they were all going. And there's also an 800 megawatt natural gas fired power plant there as backup. So people talk about, you know, oh, it's cheaper to build windmills than natural gas plants now, we should stop building them, you know, it's irresponsible, just build windmills. Well, again, that's an irresponsible statement, or at least not a very knowledgeable statement, because you can build a natural gas plant and not have to build renewables from a reliability standpoint, but you can't build just the renewables without the natural gas. So we need to build both. And to say it's cheaper, that may be true, but when you're building the renewables, you have to build both. So it is more expensive, and I'm not saying we shouldn't spend that money, but it is more expensive. So on average, wind capacity is about 30% efficiency. So 30% of the time you're getting nameplate capacity, 70% of the time you need backup. So when people say to me, we should just build renewables, they're cheaper and this and that, I ask them, which 8 hours of the day would you like to have electricity, and which 16 hours do you want to go without? Because that's really the measure of it with renewables today. And of course, the same is true in solar. This facility is just outside Kimberley in British Columbia. And you know, we're very fortunate in Alberta. I show sunshine here. We have it all here in Alberta. You know, we have a lot of sun, we have a lot of wind, we have oil and natural gas. We're blessed with a lot of energy. But of course, with solar, it's cloudy, the days are short in the winter. Of course, night comes every day, pretty reliable. It's about 20% capacity. So 20% of the time you get nameplate, 80% of the time you need some sort of backup. So what do we do about that? Well, I guess we could build 3 to 5 times the capacity with renewables, but of course if the wind's not blowing and the sun isn't shining, I don't care if you have 50 times capacity, you're not generating electricity. So we need to do what we are doing, but accept it, because it is the reality of our energy. You know, the backup in Ontario is nuclear and hydro. Here in the prairies, Saskatchewan, Alberta, the Maritimes, it's going to be natural gas. And in some places, BC, Ontario, Manitoba, you have hydro. The two are not competing, they're very complementary. You can't have one without the other.